everybody, this is Jeff with Bear River Blogger, and we are out at Farmington Bay, the Eccles Wildlife Education Center. And today we are with Haley Pace. She's the program specialist at the Wildlife Education Center, and she's going to talk to us a little bit about what you see behind us here, the great blue heron rookery. So, what actually is a rookery?
So a rookery is a colony of birds that will typically nest together. So they will, obviously this is an artificial rookery, but even in the wild, the great blue herons would all nest together in a colony in a tree. Another example is American white pelicans. They also have a rookery. It's called Gunnison Island out in the middle of the Great Salt Lake. So that also is a colony of nesting birds. So that's what a rookery is.
And how long has this rookery been here? I remember something like maybe the late 1980s, but it's been rebuilt a few times. What tell us about that?
Yeah, as far as we know, it was, Rocky Mountain Power's history is that it was built sometime in the mid 1980s, about the same time that the Great Salt Lake flooded is when they built the heron rookery. Rocky Mountain Power partnered with the Division of Wildlife to get herons off of nesting off of transformers, so they built this artificial rookery here for that.
Now, just this last winter, Rocky Mountain Power came out and added some more poles and stuff on the rookery.
Yeah, so all the poles to the left-hand side here, they're kind of the more brighter colored ones. There's 3 new poles. There are 4 platforms on a pole now. So the old rookery was 6 poles, and there was about 3 or so. It was about 18 platforms, and now we have doubled that, and there are 36 platforms out there now. So we anticipate to have 36 nesting herons.
Yeah, in fact, last week we were out with Dave England out on the marsh, and we noticed some of the goose nesting platforms had great blue heron nests in them, and we kind of think, well, maybe there wasn't enough room on this rookery, so now that it's double in capacity, maybe the goose platforms will be used more by geese this winter.
Yeah, it's a possibility, yeah. And so Rocky Mountain Power actually asked to expand the rookery because I guess for the first time since they built the rookery, they were having issues with herons nesting on transformers.
Yeah, in fact, these power lines on the east side of Farmington Bay had a couple of nests on them this past year, didn't they?
Yep, yep. And so that's what we're trying to avoid. So it helps the herons out, but it helps the power company out as well.
And this is such a unique place because we're literally standing in the parking lot of the education center, and we're a couple hundred yards away from this heron rookery.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this is probably one of the easiest wildlife viewing opportunities. Is you can come park in the parking lot here at the Eccles Wildlife Center in Farmington, Utah, and you can view the herons just right here. Even without a pair of binoculars, you can see them pretty well. So
what time of year do they arrive here?
So the herons typically arrive mid-February. They were, about 2 weeks late. It was about the beginning of March that we saw them come, and then they're going to be here until the end of June. So they will come nest. They incubate their eggs for about 28 days, and then the babies fledge in about 60 days. So, yeah.
How big are these birds?
So great blue herons are the largest heron in North America. They stand about 4.5 feet tall. They have a wingspan of about 6 feet, and they weigh about 6 pounds.
So. This is one of the most interesting things I think the state of Utah has for wildlife education enjoyment. I mean, we're literally just so close to it, and then we get to watch the breeding season of these incredible birds.
Yeah.
Almost, from the comfort of your vehicle, really.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I don't know anywhere else in Utah you can have this kind of experience this close to the parking lot, and the nature center is just another couple of yards just behind us. So
yeah.
This is kind of a unique situation. So, what else can you tell us about the Eccles Wildlife Education Center? What we have to attract people to come in, and what can you teach them about wildlife inside the center?
Yeah, so if they want to come in, we actually do have spotting scopes that we put up, on the rookery, and you can see the birds really closely. Once the eggs hatch and we have baby birds, you can usually see the baby birds hatch, and you can usually see the parents coming and feeding the herons, which is pretty cool. We also have a variety of birds that you can see in the education center, as well as just a lot of birding opportunity here around Farmington Bay. The Eccles Wildlife Center is open from Tuesdays to Saturdays from 9:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Can come in anytime. We have binoculars that we lend out, and we also have a scavenger hunt for the kids. So
now, on the west side of this is actually a kind of a rustic or primitive nature trail, isn't it, on the west side of this pond that people can walk
Yeah.
You get a different bird's eye view of the
Yeah.
birds.
Yeah. So it's about a quarter of a mile in and out trail, and then we also have a nature trail on the other side of the property here. It's about a 1 mile loop trail, and really good for the kids and families. So.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
We appreciate Haley taking some time out and talking a little bit about the heron rookery here. This is one of the most unique places in northern Utah to come see wildlife. Not just the rookery, but actually Farmington Bay in general. There's all kinds of birds, and they're just starting to show up. The tundra swans are moving through. We still have a few bald eagles still around. And a lot of the migratory birds are just barely starting to show up. So this is a great time of year to start coming out and enjoying nature. In fact, we've heard horse frogs today.
Yeah.
It's been kind of an interesting day today. So I urge everybody to come out and visit Farmington Bay and the Eccles Wildlife Education Center. And if people want to come and volunteer here, can they contact you and get more information about maybe volunteering at the center?
Absolutely. So you can always come into the center and ask about it on our website, wildlife.utah.gov. You can go to the Eccles Wildlife Center, and we have volunteer opportunities. We also have like a volunteer. What's the word I'm looking for? A volunteer. Why can't I think of the word? But you can submit to be a volunteer on our website. Application. Oh, we have a volunteer application that you can fill out, and then it will be submitted, and we'll contact you back. And we love our volunteers. We can't do
this place
anything
wouldn't
without it.
function
Yeah,
without
absolutely.
volunteers.
So.
In fact, we went on a birding walk today with one of the volunteers out on the nature trail.
Yeah.
And these programs wouldn't happen without the volunteers out at Farmington Bay. So anyway, we appreciate Haley. We appreciate your time here. Everybody here listening, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And we actually have a podcast we're starting, so you can actually listen to this on our podcast. And you can follow us at bearriverblogger.com and come visit Farmington Bay.